So in the last we test our implementation, I got a small adjustment when we have unanimous decision, or there are too few samples to further split them into subpopulation. We will take the most common value in the target values as a default decision. Well, in the previous video, I haven't got this index, which will result some unnecessary wrapping of the object. Though the information is correct, but when you implement that, it gets small issues. But anyway, we have this fit to the data has been done. Let's test that. I would not say let's evaluate that, because this is not the evaluation of the model. We fit the model to all of the data and we test it on all of the data. That is not the evaluation. I think in the following videos we will do a proper split of the data into training and validation subsets. But for now, we just to verify the sanity of the training algorithm, see that the implementation is bug-free, hopefully, and so we do the kind of code testing on the entire data population. We've done the fit, and what to do, I will calculate the correctness and cause the false positive, which means the true target value, which is whether the Republics won in 2016, is false. So not won, Democrats won, but we have predicted as Republicans won. This is false positive and false negative, which we made errors the other way around. Okay. So we have some recording of the two types of the errors, and we also consider the correct numbers. So let's do the test. Obviously, in practical data tasks, you don't do this very very inefficient way of implement. You will batch process a lot of data samples altogether rather than do them one by one. But this is just for the demo's purpose, and the code will gives you the decision-making process, which makes it very interpretable. Okay, so test the quantile for only. So look, the first decision making is with respect to the distribution of the white population, which is very consistent with our intuition. And look, if it's a relatively high population of the white non-Latino people, it will look at the education, and then it will look at people's occupations. Well, all very sensible. Okay, and in the case when the white population is low, it will consider how many people in the construction and maintenance industry, which is also very reasonable, and then it will look at the people with graduate degrees. Okay. So sometimes succeed, sometimes it's not succeed, doesn't matter. We will have a look at the statistics of its performance. So, okay, congratulations, at least we have SAN implementation, which means it's reasonable. It makes some errors, a small portion of errors, which is probably because we have stopped the algorithm to split to further and further finer subpopulations when we have reached maybe a small group like 50 counties. So we have some errors, and these errors are not hugely biased towards one type of errors, considering that the data itself is unbalanced, so which I'm happy with that. Well, but of course, this is on based on the, the, the training of the entire population, and in the next part, I think we will split the population and data and do further investigation. But with all this, we need to bear in mind that this is just one angle to look at the data for one man-made task. There are different ways because the country's outcomes has related to, of course, but not directly determines the who will win the Oval Office in the next 4 years. You need to consider other factors such as how those populations distribute in different states, because there in most of the states you have the winner takes all policy that you need to consider that in individual states. And what is very important is that we consider all this. Even we have split the data into training and test, we implicitly adopt the assumption that whatever that's been discovered in the training data, whatever tendencies or some kind of information we can use to predict the outcome of the votes, will apply to the test data. And if we use this training and test data, we use for the same year, but the tendency may change over time, which is pretty true, and that is democracy is about. Otherwise, I think the most reliable predictor of who will win the office will be who is in the office currently. So there are a lot of more interesting things to consider for your future projects, and we will have further discussion after we have done some proper testing of the project. So for now,